Hi, my name's Alex Moon. I'm a developer advocate here at WP Engine. Today, we're going to talk about search. I'm guessing you're here because you know how immensely important search is to driving customers to the products and content they're looking for on our websites. But that's only possible with the right search tool. And I'm going to contend here that WP Engine Smart Search is the right search tool. It's got a powerful set of full text search features and all the way up to full AI tool sets and more. Whether you're a business owner looking for low or no code solutions, a custom theme developer, or a headless developer, WP Engine Smart Search has a powerful suite of tools for each and every one of you to unlock your content's full potential for your users. So let's get into those features and what they do and how you can leverage them to create amazing user experiences on your site. Let's talk architecture. WP Engine Smart Search is made up of two primary components. The plugin that gives you a bunch of UI functionality in your WP admin, including custom blocks, settings pages, etc. And then on the back end, there's a separate and dedicated server that drives an Elasticsearch instance powering your custom site search experience. This means that one user's search or re-indexing of your site doesn't bog down another user's page load speeds. This decoupled server drives not only performance, but also a full set of decoupled APIs. These are the same APIs that we use to build the WP Engine AI Toolkit plugin that Smart Search is a part of, but they are also available to you directly to build your own amazing user experiences. Whether this is going above and beyond what's available from the plugin to creating full integrations with third-party data, third-party AI experiences through our managed vector database, or unique and different personalization and recommendations. No matter what you're looking to build, these APIs are there to help and support you doing that. Now, if you're not interested in writing your own code, if you're looking at low or no code solutions, our WP Engine AI Toolkit plugin, of which Smart Search is a part of, will still provide you all those customizable and themable blocks with built-in hooks so that you can still build an amazing experience for your users. All this is to say, WP Engine Smart Search is a very powerful tool that can go from no code to full customization and anywhere in between. So whoever you are, let's go check out these features and the details of WP Engine Smart Search. Let's get into actual search here. Let's go through what our three different kinds of search looks like. We'll start with full text search. This is an experience you're probably fairly familiar with, but let's say I want to look for a song about breakups. We know Taylor Swift sings about breakups. Ooh, what? Well, if I could spell it would help. How about this? Still nothing. That's weird. Okay, how about like relationships? Nothing. That's really odd. Turns out for breakup, if I separate the words, all of a sudden now we start getting synth. How about labyrinth here? Well, the word break is in there a bunch, okay. Break up is there once. But what I really wanted was that one breakup song. I forget what it was called. But, oh, here we are. Never ever getting back together. This is the epic breakup song I was looking for. Unfortunately, the word breakup's only in there once. Break's only in there once. Up's in there a couple times. But it just doesn't have the repetitiveness of these earlier songs that full text search is looking for. So despite this being thematically very much about breakups, it's buried here on the second page. And similar with like relationship search is It's just not looking for conceptual ideas, but it's looking for exact words. And the word relationship or relationships is not in Taylor's songs, despite her singing about relationships. Here's another one. Taylor's original albums were released under the Big Machine label. So maybe I want to check out some albums from Big Machine. These are all songs. So the albums on the Big Machine label are once again buried here on the third page. Now, why is everything else coming up? Because Endgame has the word big in it over and over and over and over, right? So it makes sense that this is here because that's how full text search works. It's looking for the exact words or nearly exact words in a repetitive manner. So it sees Endgame as important. So how do we solve these issues? Well, in this case, I am both the searcher and the admin, but in real life, we don't know necessarily what our users are searching for without some analytics. So let's go into our WP Engine portal, and this is exactly where we get WP Engine Smart Search analytics. So let's go ahead and refresh this so we get the latest data here. And we can see, hey, these things. Most importantly, though, we can see that breakup isn't returning a lot of results. Some of these are a little skewed because of this is a dev environment. I've been doing a lot of testing. But we can see breakup is being searched a lot with no search results. So that's something we should think about. Similarly, we can see relationships has been searched. And if we go to Big Machine, we can see Big Machine's a popular search result. Fortunately, we can't tell exactly what's being returned here, though now that we know this is an important result, we could go and test that. So we go and test it. We see, hey, the person's probably looking for the Big Machine labeled albums, but they're not getting those results. So what can we do about fixing the breakup and the relationship type searches, as well as this Big Machine type search? So let's go back into our config. And for the Big Machine search, this is just getting the full text search to prioritize certain kinds of matches. And we know that that's the name of the label. So let's bump that up. It doesn't particularly matter in this case what that is set to, but let's bump up the weighting of the name of the label. So now that we know that, we can redo our Big Machine search, and we should have let's try a little higher weighting. This is where a little, experimentation might be required. All right. We've got label, it's enabled, it's more heavily weighted. And how about now? There we go. So now we've got Reputation, 1989, and the original Taylor Swift album. So they're not at the top of the results. We can continue improving the weighting to continue bumping them up those results, but at least you can see how we now have control over where these are falling in the results based on weighting of different fields. So what do we do about the breakup term and things like relationship searches, these ideas that people are searching, not literal words? Well, that's where our semantic and hybrid AI-powered searches come in. Let's start with going to one full extreme, and that is our semantic search. We'll save that, and let's go back and do a search. Now, if we do our breakup search, we get these ideas, right? Notice our song that was despite not being about breakups or not having the breakup term in it a lot, is now being recognized as one of our major search results. It's our number one search result because the AI understands that this is thematically very much a breakup song. And right adding the space in, shift stuff around a little bit, but we see that these results are coming in. So what are our options here? Let's look at this one. So let's say I search breakup. What's good in it? How do you get the girl? Why is this being prioritized? Well, what's actually in it? The word breaks in it isn't even in it. The word up is in it once. Okay. It's probably thematically about breakups, but that doesn't mean that full text prioritization of actual repetition of words is a bad thing either. For example, right where you left me, that definitely sounds like a breakup song. And it's right there. Friends break up in the first sentence. Breakups. Okay. It's definitely a breakup song. And this is a little weird. It is getting prioritized very heavily. It's only in the fourth versus the third slot. But what did it say? We want to prioritize both full text search and hybrid search. We want the best of both worlds. Well, we can do that. And that's where hybrid search comes in. So we can go to hybrid search. We'll evenly weight these. And this now combines the best of both worlds. So what we should see here is full text search will recognize that right where you left me has the actual search result in it over how you get the girl. And that's exactly what happens. Those two swap places, right? It says, hey, these are still both about breakups. They're both important still. But right where you left me actually has the words in it. Whereas how you get the girl, it does not. So those are our three types of search in WP Engine Smart Search. And next, we're going to check out facets and see how you can use those on your sites to improve search results even more. Let's talk facets. For this example, we're going to use our TV show database example for this. So let's say I'm looking for a movie. Don't ask why. We're searching for water. This gives us 3 distinct movies, and maybe I decide I want to watch action movies. And now I've filtered down to action movies within the context of my water search results. This is a distinct experience from had I used a standard category links, which had I chosen action, would have taken me to the entire action category and I would have lost the context of my search, aka water. So by using facet search, you can maintain context and you can compile these together, right? If I had another filter, I could include both those facets, whereas I can only ever be on one category at a time. So these facets are built with blocks. So let's go back to our Swift search example and take a look at how to add facets to your pages using the block builder. We talked before about the different labels Taylor's released on under and their ability to prioritize that and search it. But let's talk about something very similarly related, and that's her original works versus her Taylor's versions, where she re-released them under the new label. So if we go up here to albums, we get a list of albums, and we have used a custom taxonomies here to create our album types, right? So we have our re-recorded albums and then the original studio album. And we can follow these links, and these are basic category links, right? We're going to that category, or we're going to our studio album category. And while this works, it is a full server round trip. And if specifically on a search page, as we just talked about in our movies database version, this loses our search results. So if we want to add facets, facets are a really beneficial tool to not require losing our search result and filtering down existing things. So let's go to Appearance, open up our editor. We'll go to our templates, our album archive, and here we can see our navigation block. We can go ahead and remove this because we don't want it anymore. And then on this side, we are going to do filter facets. Now, built in, there's a couple different types. We are going to choose our source. So this is an album type. And let's do checkboxes instead of, and we'll enable auto reload. Let's go ahead and save that. We can refresh our album archive page. And now we've replaced these links with checkboxes. So I can check my re-recorded album box and page filters down without having to navigate. Notice this uses query param instead of a whole new URL. So that's the basics of facets. You can compile these into highly complex filters based on different category types and metadata. But this is basically an example of how to use the facet block with your page templates. All right, we're pretty much done with our overview of search. Before we leave search, though, I want to mention one of those things that we talked about earlier that I told you I'd get back to, and that's the recommendations. So we'll get into specific APIs after this for all the stuff we've talked about, including the recommendations API. But I want to give you another example of what this looks like, practically speaking. You can do this in a variety of ways. The best example here on our movie database page is the recommended TV shows here down at the bottom. And this is, again, that semantic search is able to correlate multiple different TV shows together and give us some recommendations. We can, based on our configurations, that might be recommendations based on trending movies. That could be recommendations on the similarity to the movie we're currently looking at. Or it could be based on our own personalized experience on this site. The Smart Search plugin handles all that for you and makes it as easy as adding a block. So let's go back to Swift Search and add a song recommendations page and talk about the recommendations block. All right, we're back to Swift Search. Let's go ahead and start by adding our recommendations on the home page that's going to show our users trending songs. So we can come into our editor. We've selected our front page template, and let's choose our footer here, and we're going to add some separators. Let's make sure that's above that, and we'll create 2 of those to create ourselves a little zone. And then afterwards, we're going to add our recommendations block. All right, let's make sure that's in the correct position. All right, and let's open up our details. So our recommendation type here is trending post, which is what we're looking for. And we can do songs. Let's just do top 3 though. And we'll go ahead and save that. This might not be the perfect layout, but it's going to show us what we need to see. We can come to the home page. And now this seems to be off by 1 error on this issue, but we're going to ignore that for now. And it shows us our 3 trending albums here. So theoretically, if enough people browse different songs, maybe refresh this a couple of times. Didn't change anything. But eventually that will, over time, affect things. So that is trending posts. Let's look at the related recommended posts. So let's exit this template. And let's go into another place this might be useful is on individual songs. Once again, we can add in, we're going to add before, and we're going to add a separator, and then add after, and we're going to do our recommendations block. Now we have the option for related posts because we're on a single template. So we can do related. We're going to continue to do songs. We will again do fork, and let's go see how that looks. Let's preview that. All right, we can select this song, and when we get to the bottom, we now have related post content. Perfect. This one doesn't have an off by one issue. Give me the right one. There. All right. There we go. There's our 3 recommendations. So you can see how amazingly powerful and easy these blocks are. We can use the block editor and full page templates to simply add recommendations and personalizations wherever we want to see them. Let's talk images and PDFs. These both provide a wealth of information and data potentially to our users, whether it's white papers or more. And we want to be able to search and index these often in our sites. And WP Engine Smart Search now supports that. So I can search this quote from something like 12 Angry Men. It comes up, and if we search within our PDF here, it indeed shows up. All right, another example of this is images. We have several different Disney movies in here, from WandaVision to Loki. And if we look at the data on these pages, nowhere where this is marked as a Disney movie within our text, except for every one of these says Marvel Studios Disney Plus. So what happens if we search for Disney? These movies all come up because they are all recognized as being within the Disney universe based on the data that is being processed from the image. This multimodal support is excellent for being able to search not only text-based data within your post types, but also the images and PDFs related to them. All right, for our final feature I want to talk about, here's a quick demo that my friend Verena Golto put together for our location-based geofilters for Smart Search. Obviously, we can do things like a search for barbecue, and we're going to find barbecue locations in Austin, Texas. But I can also do something just like in our Swift search example, that where words aren't necessarily found, right? I can do something like grunge food, and one of my favorite restaurants, Casino El Camino, comes up. Nowhere in this restaurant description is the word grunge, but based on the AI vector connections, this is being brought to the table as a potential result that I intend. So this is geolocation-based filtering. I hope you enjoyed learning about this as well. Let's get into those APIs and how you can build even more customer experiences like this Headless Next example we just were playing with. All right. Welcome to the WP Engine AI Toolkit docs. These are developers.wpengine.com/docs. So I've mentioned the APIs behind all the features that we've been covering so far. And this is the heart and soul of WP Engine Smart Search, because what you see in the plugin is us adapting these APIs to work specifically for WordPress. Everything from indexing to different search functionality are all driven through these APIs, and you have full access to these APIs. What that means is whether you want to build a custom theme or block components that go beyond what our provided ones do, or you're building a full custom headless site, WP Engine Smart Search can work for you. So we've got an index and delete. So whether you're indexing markdown data or integrating an internal database or more, you can integrate any amount of any data you want into WP Engine Smart Search. Content Extraction API, this is the API behind PDF and image support. So this is how you extract that data. We have the Insights API. This is the API that drives the WP Engine portal experience. I think I mentioned this before, but you can come in here and see data on what are trending search results, or what are trending searches that aren't returning results that we should be adapting our products or our content for. The semantic search config helps configure semantic search. And then we get into Smart Search specific APIs, right? So this is our Find API here is where we do general full text search or a combination of semantic and full text search, hybrid search. We get into the Recommendations API where we not only can do searches like our blocks, but we can go beyond what even the blocks enable to do more customized and complex things, right? We got trending documents, we got those related, we got the Tracker API. Remember that, where we can track what users are looking at what things for different customization and trending results, etc. Beyond that, we have several more APIs that get into more AI toolkit related things, but they're all part of the same API. So our similarity API is very similar to recommendations, but not necessarily, right? So instead of taking a post ID and saying what's related to this, you can take a set of content and say what's similar to this content. This is used to driven things like chatbots, AI chatbots, where you can put in the user's request and return a set of things like articles and data that does this. Additionally, the plugin itself has its own set of hooks and filters that you can hook into to customize things like data syncing and more. So there will be more articles out, and there's lots of content already out about specifically how to use these APIs, but this opens up a whole new world. Before we close it out for today, I'm going to show you a site that's in production right now that you can go check out that uses these exact features to build out a really custom experience for our WP Engine customers. Let's get into the faustjs.org website. All right. Welcome to Faust.js. For those who don't know, this is our kind of headless toolkit for Next.js. That doesn't really matter for the moment. There's a couple different things. In the upper right, we have search, and we'll hit our little Command K, and I can search for something like, auth, and I get a set of doc results because there's docs related to authentication. Overview of authentication, how you might do it, and here at the bottom, you notice we have this little related content, and this is using the recommendations API driving a set of related content. Here on basic setup and all these pieces of content, we're going to get that same related content. Now, if we find the right piece of content or the right search, all right, help is a great example, evidently, because you notice we have both blogs and docs coming back. So this is a headless website. This website is driven by a WordPress site where we can add posts to it to drive the blog. All the Markdown docs are in an open source GitHub repository where we maintain Faust.js. So that is on build for this site. When we build the site, we generate a bunch of pages, all these documentations pages using Markdown. And when that's happening, we're also syncing that Markdown content into our index. So now we can not only search documentation, but also blogs through the same search bar. We can denote the difference to the users and return results. We're not giving recommendations here, but if a blog post happened to relate to a piece of content, that might get recommended down here as well. It's mostly docs that get recommended, as you can tell. Finally, so that's index and delete API used through the script that is syncing in that third-party data being the Markdown files. We're using the Find API here to do a hybrid search and return both sets of results. And we're using recommendations here at the bottom of pages to recommend further reading content for users looking to learn about Faust.js. Finally, down here in our chat bot, we are using the not related content API, the similarity API, we are able to drive a RAG chatbot with full context for Faust. So I can say something like, hey, can you teach me how to do authentication? And this does a lookup, has the full context of this documentation page, and is able to give out information with specific links to specific content on the page. So that is a great resource for our users to be able to learn about Faust. And this is all driven by the WP Engine AI Toolkit. It's a really powerful suite of tools, as we've learned, that enable you to create a wide range of user experiences. And this is just scratching the surface. We're really proud of what we're building and continuing to improve on. We've got a great team doing great work on this product, and we can't wait to see what you build with it. Thanks for joining me. I've been Alex Moon. I'll hopefully continue to be Alex Moon, but either way, thanks for coming on this journey with me. And thanks for learning about WP Engine Smart Search.